It is officially day 2 of training to become one of the top 5 fighters in the nation. Last year I got kicked in the liver pretty hard. I've been waiting for a rematch ever since. Well, today's the day. Before we get to the rematch, let's talk about our first fight. First things first, let's bow to our opponent to show respect. To start off this fight, I wanted to set up a blitz, but in my first blitz, I thought he was going to throw a defensive side kick, which kind of made me a little hesitant to go forward full force. On the next setup, my opponent throws the axe kick. I back up to make myself some room. Then I go in with another blitz. This time my opponent moves his head out the way. I realized I didn't hit him with my second punch, and like a second later, I decided to throw a spinning hook kick, which didn't work because my opponent was way too close to me. I decided to blitz for a third time, and what do you know? Third time's a charm. I got my first point on the board. On this next exchange, my opponent decided to switch sides. I know he's a lefty, so that tells me he really has no defense on his right side. So I decided to go in with a body blitz to get another point on the board. Over here, I'm just jump stepping forward and faking, waiting to see what my next move is going to be. At this very moment, I'm not really sure. I'm just going off my opponent. As soon as I seen him move his back leg, I decided that would be the perfect time to step in with my back fist, which added a point on the board for me. When my opponent throws the axe kick, he doesn't really throw anything afterwards, so that was the perfect time to go in with a blitz. Now for the moment you've been waiting for, the rematch. I decided to start off with a side kick. Now my opponent has a great axe kick, and I darn sure didn't want to get hit with that. My guard came up, and I decided to just push his leg with my side kick and quickly reset to continue to my next move. My opponent starts pumping his leg at me. I try to circle out of there, but the center judge was right in front of me, so I couldn't really get out of there. All I could do was brace myself because I seen the roundhouse coming. I decided to switch to my left side and was about to spin, but then I remember what happened last year when I got kicked in the liver after spinning. So yeah, I just decided not to spin and just threw an uppercut to the jaw and called it a day. My opponent fakes at me to get a reaction and immediately comes in with a back fist. I drop down, threw my head block up with a reverse punch to the body, immediately grabbing his arms afterwards because I know my opponent likes to throw multiple techniques. You're gonna see what I mean in just a second. My opponent is applying a lot of pressure with his legs, and I try my hardest to get out of the line of fire. I end up backing myself up to the corner, which isn't the ideal place that I want to be in. My opponent fakes at me to get a reaction. I overreacted with a high side kick, which threw me off balance, and like I said before, my opponent likes to throw multiple techniques, so I had my guard up high and ready for anything. My opponent threw a spinning hook kick, which had a lot of momentum behind it. Once he made contact with my guard, I lost balance and fell. That is it for day 2, guys. Let's go back to the dojo and keep training.